In fact, it was interesting. Robert Frick, who's the corporate economist for Navy Federal Credit Union, he said the large inventory of new homes is suppressing building at this point. But with mortgage rates dropping and likely to fall more, we should see a pickup in construction later in the year. Okay, maybe. But what we know is that there's a lag, always a lag, right? Because you got permitting and then you break ground and then it's going to take time to actually build that inventory. So I think as a real estate industry, we're not going to see a massive flood of new inventory hitting the market before the end of the year.
Yeah, and of course, these numbers vary by region, if you will. On a regional level, for example, starts were actually up in month over month in the Northeast. But when you look at the West, which is where we primarily operate, starts were down 12% month over month. When you look at the year over year, month over month is June to July, right? When you look at the year over year numbers, July of this year versus July last year, we were down 31.9% in the West. That's a significant decrease, right? And we're talking about new construction starts specifically. So, this isn't a small change. This is a fairly large change over the course of 1 year. And it will be interesting for us to watch what, if anything, those numbers are affected by, including interest rates as we go forward, elections, et cetera, this back half of the year.
Well, and in addition, right, you take into consideration the housing deficit that we have in this country, right? And depending on which study you look at, anywhere from 1.5 million to 7 million units we're shy. There's no doubt we are short of housing inventory to house our population. So again, new construction is not going to come and rescue us anytime soon. He took the helm at the trade group just days after the jury in Missouri had ruled on the Sitzer-Burnett suit. She has stepped into the deep end of the pool without a doubt.
Yeah, I would say it's more like an abyss in the ocean, Bruce, if you want to use an analogy. And so I say that laughingly, but only to commend her for stepping into, the NAR and that role at a particularly difficult time for some of the obvious reasons, right? You've got, a lot of questions around what's going to happen with membership now, given some of these changes. And those are big issues to tackle as a brand new interim CEO. And so to have been willing to do that, I commend her, and certainly having done a good enough job in the first 9 months and those powers that be, seeing what she's able to accomplish in that period of time, naming her as the new CEO going forward. I think that it'll be interesting to watch her continue to navigate some of these changes as they shake out.
Well, certainly her resume would say that she's well qualified to do that, right? I thought it was interesting in her statement. She brings clarity, and that's what leaders should do. She said, "I'm honored to have earned the confidence and trust from the leadership team to guide this organization at such a critical point. I'm committed to ensuring our association remains a powerful and effective voice for the industry and to fulfilling our goal to bring the privilege of home ownership to more Americans." She said, "I am clear-eyed about our past and present, and I am hyper-focused on building trust with NAR's many stakeholders so that we can be successful in ensuring we are bringing the best of NAR to each and every one of our members." So it's a critical time. There's no doubt about that. And times like this require leadership. So I'm hopeful.
Insurance costs continue to rise as we have more and more of these natural disasters. And, I don't know about you, but it's only been the last couple of years where you see weather reporting leading off the news, right? It was always sort of buried lower in the news reporting. And I think to myself, I don't really recall there being a lot of tornadoes in the Northeast. And yet now we're seeing weather patterns that we hadn't seen before. Certainly for us in the Northwest, wildfires are a big deal, right? And I mean, we've had agents in our company who've lost homes to wildfires. And I can tell you that there are areas now that people have been able to get insurance for their homes where the insurance company is looking for every reason to terminate their insurance and or not renew them because of the deemed risk because of wildfires. So, yeah, there's no doubt about that. That has a massive impact on the cost of housing, and particularly when you are retired and you're on a fixed income, right? How do you adjust for that? So I get it, right? And not everybody can move away from these high risk locations where they're more likely to have a hurricane, a tornado. Insurance costs continue to